Alright. I think we're going live now. There we go. Why doesn't it let me go to the thing now? What the heck? Being so weird tonight. Alright, it says we're live. Let's go. There we go. What's up, everybody? We're back once again. Finally. Man, I got a funny story for tonight, too. Dude. Once I get everything posted, we will have story time. Because, oh man, did we have a funny day the night before yesterday. Oh, did we? Kids, man. They keep you on your toes, to say the least. Definitely an experience. All right. I think that's all good to go. Got a thumbnail. Ooh. Cool. Hey, what's up, Harley? Welcome in. Alright, I finally got everything loaded properly. How's it going? Doing good? What's up, Goose? Alright, let's go. I'm ready. Is the music too loud? I think it's a little louder than it normally is. Not sure if people can even hear it normally. But we're jamming. Does anybody know? I had a couple ideas while we were gone that I think are gonna be dope. Little things here and there. We're still up in the air on how the city's going. It was a more eventful weekend and week and stuff than I was planning. Driving home for work, but after I get situated, I'll upload a video showing how to get that dresser on the mushroom windsill. Dude, if you could show me that, I'm gonna have to make you VIP or something. That's like my favorite detail. I guess I haven't tried it in now at least one patch, so they may have messed with something once again. Feels like every time they touch a hitbox of anything, it messes with all sorts of stuff. I think I saw last night something, so that might be it. I think you did the, it was like, place the blueprint, and then you did a snap to grid, I think. I see it going, I think. Oh yeah, there it went. Boom. Yeah. I am. My son decided to go to sleep at a normal time. Not be a psychopath. Well, there you go. The placement's a little funky, unfortunately, but it does work. So there's that. The nice thing is you used to be able to do it just naturally. It would just work. And so you could place it exactly at like the... one sec. Music feels a little loud. You used to be able to place it like this, just on the block, and then you get them situated like perfectly. But it is placing now, so I guess there's that. Can't complain, right? It's better than nothing. Oh, you never know. There's a world that it might work, but... Yeah, I did see your video last night. So it's nice to be able to at least do it. Sure, I can make it work still. Better to have it in the toolbox, you know, than losing it forever, like I felt like we were. It died too young. Yeah, my son decided to go to sleep at like 6:30 or so, which is crazy. He never does that anymore. He normally fights to the bitter end. And then it's like almost 8. But so my wife went and hung out with some friends on Wednesday, and so it was just me and my son. The night was going great. We were just hanging out, like he was being silly, having a great time. And he loves playing like peekaboo and stuff. He's a year and a half, and he typically like, he doesn't always like close the door, but he plays with like the doors to like bedrooms and whatever, or closets. And he just likes to go peekaboo or like scare you, and he thinks that's the funniest thing in the world. It's pretty freaking adorable. But he closed the door, and as I went to grab it, he locked it at the same exact time. So he locked himself in our bedroom, and it's got a keyhole. It's not like one of the ones with the little like pinholes that you can like mess with and just like put a little screwdriver in and open them. And we don't have the key because this is a rental. So I ended up like trying a bunch of random stuff. Don't believe any of the YouTube videos. They're all lies. You can't open a door with any of them. I looked up all the YouTube videos, and normally my son would be losing his mind if he was locked in a bedroom. Like if he closes the door to the closet, he like freaks out and like wants you to get him out as soon as possible. He wouldn't say anything to me. And he had access to the bathroom and all the stuff under the sink, which is normally like closed. And then, so I ended up having to get a pry bar out of the garage and literally break our door down to get him out, because my brother-in-law is a firefighter. And when he got a hold of me while I was trying to do it, and he's like, just break the door. Like the firefighters are going to do the same exact thing, and it'll probably be worse if they do it because they don't care. And so I just broke the door down with this pry bar. So now I got to replace our entire door jamb because of the way it's split. I can't just replace one board. I got to replace the whole thing. So I'm really excited about that. That was very fun. We were just having a nice, chill evening. Oh, man. It was like the most stressful freaking night. And I'm so glad my brain, for some reason in the morning, was just like, I need a night to like get my head together. Like I just needed a night off of Grounded, I think is what it really was, to like open my mind again to what I was trying to do and figure out where I wanted to go with this build again. Just a small moment of builder's block, you know. And I guess my brain was foreshadowing that I was just going to have a crazy night because I was like way too amped up after breaking the door down to get him out. And naturally, the craziest part is he was sitting up on top of my wife's desk that's in our bedroom, just sitting on top of it, drinking out of her glass of water when I got in, like chilling, like nothing was wrong. He just was having a cup of water. And I was like, this is the most ridiculous like night. The fact that he wasn't like losing his mind or anything is just so crazy. So it was an eventful night. And then Halloween last night, it was super wet and rainy, so there wasn't any trick-or-treaters or anything. And our son's too young to actually trick-or-treat, so we just watched Halloween movies. Watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, and horse bride. And they were pretty good. I mean, we've seen them before, so we knew what they were, but that was an eventful 2 nights, to say the least. Not the nights I was expecting, that's for sure. All right, so I messed with a couple things here. I'm still trying to figure out some ideas. I'm kind of going back through some of this and like redetailing things to sort of make everything look just slightly nicer than it did. Like I'm separating this to kind of give more definition to the staircases and stuff. Same with like this. This is kind of janky, but this is where these 2 things meet. But it works. And it just kind of frees things up. It also makes this make more sense. Because I'm taking all of these stairs out because it just felt redundant to have stairs there. Yeah, unicycle, we're very early today. So I'm getting rid of all the stairs and making this a little wall, and then it'll just has a little more detail to the whole thing, which I'm liking. And we might work on the jail idea that I got, that someone gave me the last stream. I'm gonna turn this into like a jailhouse and then like put a jail underneath here. Because I have way too much space under here. We might lay some of that out. And then I was trying to think through maybe creating some like city gates or something in this area and like trying to add some stuff to make this start making sense in my head. Because I'm still struggling. This stuff all will kind of come together as I start building the houses. They're less important. It's easier to just kind of add a house and change the shape and adjust it as we go. But we'll get there. Also, I only have this next week. Since it's Friday, I'm going to be streaming when I can next week. But we will be going on vacation from the 10th to the 20th. So I will not be streaming for like 10 days or so. Should only be like Monday through Friday 1 week, and then Monday through Wednesday the next week, and then I might be able to stream Thursday, Friday, depending on how things go. But it will be a little bit of time off. But I'm kind of excited. I think we'll come back. Every time I go on a trip or like take a week off, same thing over the summer when I had a week off, I come back and like build the craziest things, and the streams are a little more energetic. It's nice kind of getting away and taking a bit break. I won't have any games necessarily to play, so it's like it's a good reset since I pretty much game every night. And I think when we get back, I also want to get a base. I'm going to be getting a base tour out with Luderav. He's ready for one. So now giving him even more time, he's going to be like crazy far along. Now it's giving him like 2-3 weeks now to like really iron things out. So it's going to get even better. Like, oh wait, here's one more thing. Ooh, let me make it better. So that'll be good. And then I want to get a tour done of this base. We won't necessarily have it finished, but it will. I like showing the progress on as a video as well. I always do, since I'll be doing a video for Luderav, it like gets me in the mindset of working on another video at the same time. If I stop doing it, I don't know why I like lose the drive to do a video. The longer I don't do them, or don't do one. Procrastination, baby. It's the name of the game. I think not having stairs here will also make this easier to make this like alleyway sort of look nicer. Where did that go? Disappeared. Because messing with these buildings was kind of weird with just like stairs across the whole thing. It just didn't feel right for some reason. What else did I mess with? If you haven't built the Scarecrow, like, go build one right away. They are amazing. I think I have 6 at this base and 6 or 7 at the pagoda, and I'm getting like 20 to 40 crow feathers most days. Sometimes I forget for a day, and then there's like 5 of them that you can harvest, and they can all be as low as like 2 or 3 feathers, but you can get as many as like 6 or so. Like, it has the highest drops as well. It's kind of ridiculous how good it is. And it is still working even though the Halloween event is over, which is pretty sick. It doesn't sound like they care either. I specifically begged them to leave the Scarecrow to work, and they're like, no, that's not how it works. It's got to be like with the event. It's programmed to turn off, so we can't like extend it or make it different. The way the Christmas tree, and then it just worked, and I'm not really sure why, I think. But no one's complaining, so I'll take it. It's a good time. We got something out of the Halloween event, I guess, which is nice. I'm not really sure how I'm going to use them in the city by any means, but they are very useful to have. You'll literally, if you make 10 of them, it's a decent amount of raw science because you have to dupe 10 candy corn per. And if you didn't get candy corn, you can get them from the meaty gnats too. It's not a great drop rate, but you can still get them. And then you just dupe a bunch of them, and you'd have to dupe like 100 or so to get 10 of them. But man, you'll never have to worry about feathers again in your life. But like 1. But I'm a big fan of the Scarecrow so far. It is creepy though. Got a nasty little face. Like, I'm definitely enjoying getting some of these smaller details in figured out. It's like making everything just look more interesting as we go. The houses are going to be way better, but it'll look crazier with the houses, but it's nice kind of getting some of this stuff done and seeing like the vision. All the little stuff that really starts making it pop. Yeah, that's fine. Still not totally sure how I want to do all of that. I also wanted to do a windmill somewhere, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I might just be overthinking it, but it kind of bugs me that the windmill would be like inside these huge city walls with all these big buildings blocking all the wind and stuff. So, not sure yet. It would make more sense if we got to the point where I could build some villages to put it on the outside, but that's like so far down the road. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Hard to say. Might be nice to get this built and done tonight too. I also was messing with some windows over here. As I was doing the vertical slit windows up on the last 2 builds, but those windows, I was like, why haven't I done these like horizontally? And why haven't I done like a quarter window? Like, it's not bad. Yeah, and possibilities are endless, so it's like, what's going to be the route? I don't know. I think they're a little bit nicer than these windows. These work in some places, but like not everywhere. Like I enjoy them for like a little window like this, but at the same time, like the big windows are just kind of better. Decisions, you know. Did I do anything else? I don't think so. I've been trying to like visualize different parts of this build. Actually really like this little detail. Great little addition. Pop of ash cement, as always. My favorite design of every kind. No, didn't touch any of this. Yeah, I think that's all I really did. I should have worked on the inside of this, but I didn't. It's a daunting task. But it's going to be worth it once we do it. I also don't know if I'm going to change the floor in here. I'm not in love with the white floor. I think the darker floor looks better. And I don't really want it to be anything else. Could do feather, but... Oh. Forgot that happens when you do that. I'm rich, who cares? What a... Rolling in the feathers and stuff now. Don't even have to worry about feathers, I don't feel like. Like, seriously. Like, look, that's so many. It's more than you can get in one day, getting every feather that drops. Just from these 6. And you can get the fancy fletch. Oh my gosh, and another one spawns right then. And then you can get the trinket as well. Fancy fletchling. From these, so it's like... I have like 4 of them now. Like, I keep noticing them on the ground. Like the little keychain. Alright, we'll see how many we get. And I'm pretty sure I harvested these like in one in-game day ago. Like this, it's nuts. The drop rates are crazy. And that's, yeah, just 6 out here too. And then every once in a while, the bird drops one, so I get even more. It's lucrative. Need to go into the feather business. Yeah, 46 feathers though, like, it's insane. This was like half full before that thing was released. And then the jail ideas, we're just slightly adjusting these stairs down. Still leaving this thing, but then there'll be a pathway that goes out to here. And then this general area will become a jail. They'll use like this half or something. And then we'll, because this will be plenty of space. It doesn't really need to be anything too crazy, honestly. Can be sort of simple. Just because we, I just like the idea of like another secret thing underneath and that uses some of this space. And then it also fills it up because then I could probably just do like one loop around this and make a little room. Sort of just like a single full wall probably. Thinking's probably the right amount. Like this is like a passage or like maybe that size around this whole level, and then each one would get like a half shelf, I'm thinking. That makes any sense? And then just spiky bomb after spiky bomb after spiky bomb. Where are they? And then we'll just go nuts. Then it'll be more like this, probably. And then just a fun little passageway, or even like this could go forward. Who knows what it's going to be? It doesn't really matter. So there'll just be a simple staircase into this lower level, and I think that'll be a little more simplistic than like filling this whole thing up with thousands of these, because I already know that these are going to be intensive on the the hardware, trying to like render them all in when you're in that area, because it's so many items. So still sticking with the ideas, but downscaling just a little. At least make this 2 wide. And I guess we can put bugs in the jail cells. No, we just put armor dummies like Looter does. Have to figure out what armor sets that go in there, though. I think we probably want to go just to the side of that. Oh, jeez. There we go. Just kind of be like 2 high jail cells, floor in between each. Fairly simple. This will be like a jail cell, maybe 1 level, then a jail cell, and then some type of floor. Try to make the most like stereotypical. This is probably better. Railings. It just needs to be wide enough for this to make sense. So we might have to go a little further this way. Like 2 or 3 spots. I should be building from this side out. Don't get too far ahead of myself here. It's easy to do. That way these don't necessarily run into each other in a bad way. Do need to get this thing out of here. I have to be really careful in this area, because if I start like accidentally destroy any of these, a bunch of them are supporting like many. I'm not sure if they actually are or not is the hard part, but the one problem with these floating pillars is that they aren't really supported very well. They are a tough one. You would. The idea was I was building this crazy floor underneath all of them that I would eventually finish, but I just never did. It'll be part of finishing all of this random stuff as we go, but couldn't be bothered, you know. I want to start here, here. And it might be dumb, but maybe ash cement. Might look like it'd look better. Yeah, to try to make it more bar like, okay. Some of it. I'll have to do a mixture of ash cement and stuff, I think. want probably like 2 spots and then these. To match that. Yeah. Alright. Gotta get some of these floors. I think Pebblet Foundation's gonna be good enough. I wish I liked the color of the clay foundations more, but it just doesn't do. It wouldn't be bad. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Do like a combination of it. Pebblet down the middle and. Hard choice, hard choice. I do just like the Pebblet better. Visually. Let's just see. Don't be stubborn. What are you supporting? You ain't supporting nothing. Oh my gosh. Everything's sort of supporting the wrong things. Dude, what? Where? I was like, I swear, if that's how that worked. Lord. Struggle here, having all these things not supported yet. It's definitely more like sanitary to have a clay floor, right? Is this water sanitary? Looks questionable to me. Is your vine for the night? Too dark, too fast. Too dark, too furious. Grounded racing game. Just making sure I wasn't missing anything on the Discord. I figure out how to make this building cooler too. Take it from a shed to like an actual little structure almost. I think it wants to be more ash cement than mushroom. But not sure yet. I just want to make it sort of like a little police office sort of room. Like have a little desk, nothing crazy. Maybe want to be like combination almost, maybe. Little details, nothing like crazy. Could even do a little window right there, I guess. Yeah. one thick, but it's not bad. Horizontal. Kind of weird, but I don't know. It's hard if it's not like too thick. Two. Then it seamlessly continues on this side. Could, the odd number never really works out, unfortunately. I think. No window. This is like a little police station office, so it's like, probably doesn't make sense to have windows. I completely rethink the roof, though. That part's interesting. Those are kind of nice backwards. It looks kind of funky on the inside, but it is kind of nice. It's an interesting little detail. Sure, we'll probably find something to do with it. Kind of like that better, honestly. Have to use, from experience, just use the quarter ones. They're just better. Probably want to do a bit of that. Not terrible. It's not like the be-all, end-all of buildings, so probably don't need to spend a ton of time on it. But we always got to make it look good. Good as we can. I almost wish these, tough to do, but if they were like overhanging, similar to how the full height walls work, where like unless you put something over them, it has this little crenellation thing. Like if they were hanging off the edge, they got just one extra tile. They would look 10 times better. Nitpicky, but like these are too big. It might work on some builds, but not what I'm looking for right now. Let's build this similar to the other house thing I built. The can't think. Sorry. Same as the mini face gods temple thing. Might be too much, I don't know. Hard to tell. I think what I did was this, yeah. There's just one thing, it wasn't the full height. Probably looks a little bit better. Don't want to go crazy, but still want it to look good. Definitely need to continue this pattern here too. Which, it's just that, actually. Easier said than done. Or easier done than even said. Guess we just move all of them. It's gonna bug me, even though it's gonna be slightly different. I'd rather have the inside look better. Keeping the pattern going. Hey, reporting. Where is it? Go. Working on the little stuff today. Most of the things we have left in this build are kind of smaller builds overall, so guess that's kind of life now. But they're the parts of the builds that make it exciting at the end of the day. It's definitely gets more difficult doing the final details, but it does really bring it together. Kind of a weird crown, you know? I don't know how I feel about that. How's the book going? I just, they just got out of Moria. So it's going, I'm an emotional wreck, you know? If I didn't know the story, Gandalf gone, the company in tatters, scattered to the wind. I've been waiting for that frickin' scene, so it's nice to finally be there. I had a long day of listening. Really didn't have anything else going on, so I just listened. Don't ask me what I'm doing right now. I just thought this thing looked cool. For no real reason, but it's a cool detail now. What for? Nobody knows. So far it's a good listen. I think it started off fairly slow just because I had a preconceived idea of like because of the movies. So it started off a little slower than I thought it was going to, so it took a little while to get in, but now that things are in motion, it's good. Moving at a much better pace now. Like they definitely get thrown into the deep end, just kind of out of the blue. Which I knew, but I was just waiting for. I just wanted it to be there, the anticipation, you know. But very good listen so far, as expected. And I'm finally to that point where I think there's a growing period for audiobooks where you have to give the audio person, like whoever's reading it, some time to grow on you. I think they all kind of sound horrible at the start, the first time at least to me. And then after you listen to someone for a little while, they're like, you get used to the characters and the like fluctuations in their voices and just everything. It takes some time to get used to like the audio person. Every time I do a series, it feels that way. It's just a slightly rough period every time. Book's better than the movie so far. Since I'm only to the Balrog part, I kind of like the first movie just because it kind of glazes over. It just cleans up a lot of the slow parts of the book so far. But I'm enjoying the extra detail and like discussions and characters that are coming up, and so I can't. It's the same way I feel about the Harry Potter ones. Like I don't think I like one over the other. I'd like how they are supporting the story further for me. Is what's like the fun part about them in general. Is now it's just further interesting details where it's like I almost look at them that once I've gone through the books of a series of a movie, like a series that I've seen the movie for, I like watching the movie is like with the knowledge of the books just makes it more captivating and interesting. I don't know. I believe there's an audiobook with a cast of audio characters rather than one reader. Oh, interesting. On Audible? Just finding this little thing's really interesting for some reason. Interesting. I don't know, what is it? The guy is The Fellowship of the Ring, narrated by Rob Inglis. He has sort of a voice for each character, but it's not multiple. Let's see if anything else pops up. Is it the dramatized one? Yeah, that's it. I'll have to preview it and see if I like it more. Because I think that's what, for me, there's 2 Harry Potter audiobooks, like series that have been done on Audible. And some people really like one, some people really like the other. The one that I've listened to, the guy does like I think they're really good. I enjoy them so far. Apparently a lot of people like the other one more, but I've enjoyed, and he has like an audio or a voice for each character, and honestly they like pretty dang good. Like it's pretty impressive. I think it adds a lot. But the first time it took me a little while to get into it. It was like takes a little while, but I think having more characters might help. More readers, at least. I really don't hate the guy so far, but it took me a little while to get used to him, but now I'm like, I think the story is also at a point where I'm like more enjoying it, so that helps. It's more ash cement than I was planning on. But like, I mean, if you're gonna make a dungeon, like ash cement makes sense, you know? Like it does. Unfortunately. Now that I've asked the important question, what are we building tonight? I mean, we're definitely like in the thralls of ADHD building tonight. But I think we're currently working on a jail. I feel bad because I can't remember who suggested it, but someone suggested making a jail. And I was like, that makes total sense because I had this little entrance. Okay, stuck. Which is now a different building, but I had this little building that I had built a little staircase down, and I was like, just to get to this assistant manager key little room that has stuff. I'm like, why not? Why wouldn't I allow myself to get down there? But there was no reason for it, but I'm like, it's a perfect little addition to have this little walkway and build like a dungeon jail under here, just as another little fun secret thing. And of course, you're always allowed to add to the ADHD building. We might work on the we haven't, sorry, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. So we'll work on this. Other random ideas. I have not figured out where I'm putting the windmill yet. That is a not sure at the moment. And then with this area, we will also then have just a smaller, trying to figure out how this goes, but these staircases, they're here? Yeah. That go from inside here will just come down and go down to a smaller area that just goes around these columns. And then it'll have like a circle room of the spiky burr bombs like I had originally planned. It's a little smaller scale, but I'm trying not to use quite as many pieces. Simplifying some of this, I think using this space for like 2 different things is also nice. I gotta go get pond moss. How do I not have pond moss in this space? Could dupe it, but on my list, on my to-do list as well. Don't feel bad. My struggle is it doesn't feel like there's, like I was thinking about that because I was thinking through like, okay, what are the buildings that I need? I was like, the last 2 days I've been like reviewing my little list of buildings, and I'm like, where do I want to put some of this stuff? How do I want to like lay this stuff in? Didn't necessarily like change or do anything, but I'm just trying to like game plan it. And I'm like, a windmill, just like one being like a windmill inside of these like massive walls in this massive like city feels kind of off to me. Like if I was going to do it, it would have made sense to do it here where I made the observatory, but I love the observatory. I think that's a great little build that I'm really happy with. So I either maybe do it in this area just because it's like the most open, so having a slightly taller house will look kind of nice. But I don't have a ton of room to make like a massive one, so it's going to have to be an interesting size. Maybe it's this thing, but it's got to be built so tall. So it's like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I could mess around with it, but then it's like it's even dropped down even further. So like mentally, it's just kind of messing with like the idea of a windmill to me. Like I want it to kind of functionally make sense. This building is also on an angle too, which makes it really hard. Yeah, I just hadn't planned on I don't know what I'm doing out here at this point. I was going to place this flooring, but just feels weird having it on top of a wall. I have to make a spot that it makes sense. So I'm thinking either I mean, like, yeah, it's hard to put it up with these plants and stuff. Like, there's not a whole lot of room. And then it's just kind of like this weird thing Because I don't want to build like, then I'm going to need to or feel like I need like housing or something on top of here, which I didn't really plan for. So it'll either be random, maybe it could be here. I hadn't really planned on it here either. It kind of feels weird, honestly. I don't even know what this whole thing's going to be. This doesn't even feel quite right anymore. But it also needs some type of mass entrance into the city, so maybe that is what it is. Like we finish this part out like over to here or something and then build this around. So maybe not here. So maybe it lands, if anything, over in that area, or if we get to finish the whole sandbox and have no issues and we start building out here, it would probably be something that lands in the sort of haphazard farm village that I'm thinking would be all of this. So just kind of building out farmland and little huts and houses and stuff all throughout here is sort of the idea. And then, of course, that massive dragon pit thing that I had talked about. Honestly, it kind of is. Like after finishing the exterior of this, I hit a bit of a wall, honestly. Like I'm still building, I still am doing things, but I think it's the point of this build that I'm in is in a decision-making zone where like a lot of these decisions just kind of came together. I don't know why. Sometimes they just work better. So I was like, oh, a barracks, and we just did it. Although there was a lot of pausing and jumping around and moving through stuff and like working on this and then jumping over here. And I think I was at a point where I was working really well because I was jumping between like 4, like this building, these buildings, this building, and then I added this in as well. So I was like, I had so many things to work on that I kind of just got to go. Like if I got stuck on one thing, I just worked on a different house and adjusted a little thing and moved a little thing. And then came over and worked on the detail here. And like, then I was working on this, then this got done. The inside is a headache to figure out overall. Kind of horrible, but I'll do it eventually. But I haven't really felt like doing that just super repetitive thing. And since we haven't really started on any of the other houses, it's like this, okay, where do I start? What do I want here? So there's some decisions to be made because I don't want to do it wrong and then have to redo all of it. But typically when I get stuck on stuff like that, I like working on other little projects till some type of inspiration comes together. And like this little area, I just like working and like clearing up little areas like this. And so, although this stuff isn't exactly how I want it quite yet, it's coming together well enough, I think. So it's little by little, I think, right now. Just trying to work through some of the smaller stuff to push my creativity along. Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's like one of those decisions, like if you screw it up, you don't like the way that city's like the housing is laid out, then it's like, okay, well, you got to start over on a fairly large portion of a build. Just kind of like, that doesn't sound very fun. I don't know if I like that better. Guess I could try to copy that. But I tend to just work through small details when I get stuck like this, and it eventually gets me there. Can be a struggle, though, for sure. Sometimes it's just like those, I think a lot of people get stuck in the decision-making point, and it's just pure perseverance. It's easier when you have a lot of things going too. Yeah, I think the people that build big end up like finding their way out of it. It's just like a mental thing you learn how to get past over time. But like for me, I'm going on vacation in 9 days. from now, so I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. So sorry, you're gonna be on your own, Lude. 2 weeks of just you and yourself and your builds. So you'll have to do without me. But then I'm gonna come back because I'm the only game. Like I'm gonna bring my Switch, so at night I can play like Slay the Spire or Subnautica or something. So I'll be playing that and doing like it'll be a big break, honestly, which I think is typically like some time off of a game is always really helpful for the creative aspect of it. Definitely can be really effective. It will be a very good reset for me, I think. Because then I want to come back, do your base tour. I have this far enough along that I'd like to do a base tour of it now as well. Just to get something on the channel as a video along with what your tour is going to be. I think that'll be really good. It'll be good timing. It'll be a good break. I'll come back and just get into editing mode and try to go nuts, and then I will start playing Enshrouded then as well. I think it'll be a good reset too, because I'm going to come back and the new update's going to be back, so I'm going to have to play some Enshrouded once or twice a week. Yeah, that's typically how it goes when I get a week off or two. Like, I come back ready and raring to go. And I'm also very excited about the Enshrouded update that's coming out. It seems really cool. So we're definitely going to be jumping minimum one night a week, I think. And then the holidays come and ruin everything again, so. I did find a little detail. If you remember the, like, 4-sided thing of this, I did add this in, which I really like. It's a nice little detail. Not horrible either. Almost just wants to be a square, though. Yeah, it fits in really well, and then it doesn't. The whole like 360-degree version of it was almost a little much. Just gonna leave this like it was. I don't love the quarter ones as much when they're next to the horizontal ones. That sort of reinforces the whole image a bit. I kind of like that. That's not bad, actually. I like that a lot. It'll look a little bit better on one side, a little bit worse on another, but a nice little detail. This is also like my favorite vacation of every year. Oh, I've always watched the VODs, but I finally am here for a live stream. Let's go. Welcome in, Tony. You're doing good. We are just building away right now. No, not skiing quite yet. Just going to Mexico. My parents and a handful of their friends and like my uncle and stuff all own a place down there. They're all a bunch of old retired folk. So they go down for like 6 to 8 weeks and all hang out together, and they have different friends come and go and make it this big thing. They've had this little house for ages. So it's always really fun. So like most of the people leave, and then my wife and I and our son show up after they all leave, and it's just my parents and us hang out, and then we close the house down till like they go again in the spring typically. Till they have to like close it up for like the summer and the hurricane seasons and stuff. My dad likes to go fishing down there and stuff, but it's just such a relaxing trip. It's not this like big deal. There's not a ton of stuff going on. It's like wake up, have a coffee, an iced coffee in the morning, sit out, look at the sun. My mom hasn't seen my son, and she babysits him every day, so they're like thick as thieves at this point, and so she hasn't seen him in 6 weeks right now. It'll be a little bit more, I think, by the time. Let's see, they left. It's 4 or 5 weeks. She hasn't seen him, so she essentially takes him and won't give him up. So we get a little bit of a parent rest weekend or week. We get a lot of time off, but we still get to like take him to the beach. He's a really good age for it right now too, so it'll be really fun. Very excited about it, but the trip's just relaxing. Make a coffee with Kahlua every morning, just chill. Listen to audio. I'm gonna destroy those audiobooks too. I'll be done with all the books and probably in both the version I'm listening to and the one that you recommended. Because that is like all I do when I'm there. It's either music or audiobooks. I just like lay in the sun and listen to audiobooks and like turn my brain off. So it'll be very very fun. It's always great for my brain. That's a nice little detail too. I like that a lot. This building just gets cooler and cooler. I'm loving it. Maybe by the time you get back, I'll have a large part of my new build idea going. Yeah. That, or you'll just keep working on the one you want to do a tour for, and you'll just have it even crazier than you did. Very nice. That is one thing I like about some of this more ADHD building, is what we'll call it. Just flying around and looking at things. You may not get stuff done, but a lot of the times, that's how I come up with these little ideas. I'm just like, I have no clue what. It was just adding these around and then adding this. And I was like, well, I could put one of these up, and then it just doesn't work. I'm like, well, what if I put one, it like lands there, and I'm like, wait a second, that'd be a great little detail. So just messing with it little by little, adding little things. Pretty well wrapped up. It's got to be good then. Which one? So that's the Ash Kingdom, I'm assuming. The one by the charcoal. Which was massive and is getting massiver somehow. I don't think it's allowed to get bigger. Shouldn't be possible. I definitely don't like this. Looks like a Burger King crown on top of this little building. And you know, that's okay. Sometimes that's how things go. They just don't work out. Probably good enough. I'm sure I'll come up with some more little details as we go. Maybe it's just like taking this out and we're putting more triangles in. Recently started playgrounds mode. It's so nice to just build. Got tired of farming. I'm sort of like, I'm always in the middle of it because I need some of the farming. That's also something, is I had been pretty consistently going up in the difficulty of New Game Plus. So I was always throwing in some story mode to keep myself interested in like doing other things, keeping the streams interesting. And like right now I'm at the very end of New Game Plus 6 and I wasn't really planning on going forward. But now that they've made it so much easier, I don't hate the idea of going up further because I don't feel like the standard things are going to get any more difficult at this point for me. Some of the infused bugs, I'm also thinking of turning, honestly, trying medium again now that everything's like adjusted. So many things have been balanced out that kind of wrong tube. I kind of want to up the challenge a little bit. Ooh. Don't choke, man. One sec. Ooh. I'm okay. I promise. I feel like it was huge. I say completely out of context after reading Ludorapp's message. I feel like it was huge. It was huge. It was ridiculously big beforehand. Like, over the top big. As per usual, but... Yikes. Am I going to be able to even handle it? Probably not. Health scaling is going to be the worst. Still not bad, though. Honestly. Did you see that C Dinky's going to New Game Plus 100? I have seen that. That sounds... It's already, like, I inflict a lot of pain on myself just from doing what I do, the farming and everything. But, like, New Game Plus 100 is another level of masochism.
Hey, there's a scarab over here.
Dang it. I whiffed so hard. Ouch. Double kill. Honestly, medium feels great. I like that a lot. There was moments where mild was just boring. But medium was just stupid. Feels like a good level now. Most of what I've been working on has been inside the wall, though. Some stuff you'll remember. I know I've seen like one image that you had sent at one point. And it was like sort of an updated thing from what you had done with see-through. So I can only imagine now what ridiculousness you've done. I don't think I've fought... I don't even know if I've killed Director Schmechter in this run yet. Can't remember if I have or not. Feel like I haven't. Yeah, we just have the Java-matic left, so we most likely haven't done anything yet. Makes sense. Forward to it for sure, but I'll just add my detail and be patient. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so we got to do everything still. Still have milk molars to find as well. We'll get her done though. Don't you worry. It's time I get a couple videos out on the channel, so it's good. It's good timing. Streaming's great, but I got to do a little bit of both here and there. No, you're so worried, Lude. Wonder how miserable the broodmother would be on medium. Maybe we'll fight her once tonight just to see if I regret my decisions or not. Oh, this building turned out really good. I'm loving the like half and half of the whole thing. Got a lot of really cool details. It's a good scale too. It's a much more like achievable scale for the normal person. And you could easily turn this into a really cool little base. Same with like this thing. Figure if I can do between 3 and 4 tours a year with you, that's a good time of building in between, that's for sure. And then I'm going to make you go play Enshrouded as well here soon. Because as I start building in that, I'm going to need someone to bounce ideas off of. The issue is that there's no creative mode. At least not to this degree. There's creative, but it's not quite the same. I don't know what to do with this, but I really like it. For some, like, really interesting looking. It's like a creepy, like if it was raised up one level, like it could be like a creepy tunnel. But it needs to be like a bridge or something almost. Been so hard pressed to get into it, yeah. It's like so good. Has a couple things, you know. If I don't move this, it's gonna bug me. Center, please, thank you. Want to collect? I'm a lazy builder. I want to be a lazy builder in that game. I enjoy the full aspects of Grounded. I don't enjoy every aspect of Enshrouded yet. There were things I didn't love about Grounded as well, so you never quite know, but the combat looks like it may be getting more entertaining as well too, as they keep updating things, so there is that. We'll see though. Just think the building's too good to not get into it. Really, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Did that have a 4-piece as a wall? What do you mean? Sorry, which part? Oh, I think I already know what you're talking about. This thing? It does sound like they're probably going to be adding some type of creative. I think if there was creative in that game, I would, and a like free flying mode similar to the handy net, I think I would probably be a full-time custom game in Enshrouded. Yeah, this is just the roof triangle thing rotated backwards. So it's just this thing. The valley. I just accidentally rotated it around and realized that the burr looks really cool. So I just made this little thing because I was like, there's something I like about this and I don't know what I want to do with it, but I want to use it somewhere. It's a perfect little creepy building. But I think coming back from a vacation is probably going to be enough to get me like creative and ready to go again for a while. I don't think you'll be able to see any of this, but I'm OCD about it. Do clay. More texture than I would like. Build. Oh, I'm out of clay? What? Alright, well that means we gotta go get some clay and we'll do the pond moss as well. I think my diving one went in here. Point. Pretty horrible. Not that it really matters. I believe I didn't suggest a jail since I've got multiple jails. I mean, I don't know how I didn't think of it. I just didn't really have, like, a place for it, I think is more so what it was. Like, there just didn't feel like there was the right spot for it anywhere. What the heck is that doing it? I think I wanted to mess with Samurai, but whatever. I failed as Igor. I mean, you gave other ideas, so I'll let you off the hook on this one. Am I gonna regret not having an ant storage? Probably. Not the black ant, though. As nice as the damage resist is, I just don't feel like losing my black ant. You've figured out so many cool ways to use build parts. I'm always getting inspired by your builds. That's the whole reason I do it, man. To inspire myself. By inspiring other people, I inspire myself because I get more people to build cool stuff in Grounded. So it's like a never-ending circle. Every time I inspire someone, they come up with something cool and inspire me. So it works out really well. Endless content loops, you know. Doctor, this is Grounded. Please no, ouch. Let me get my third attack off. Wait, I won't even want that. Oh no. This isn't what I asked for. Of course he's... Oh. Lifesteal. Jeez. Struggle's real right now. I can't perfect block for crap. I keep using the wrong weapon on this guy too. Hey. Why did the only one infusion go off? That was weird. Very weird. One of the best building games to hit the gaming market? Yes. 100%. I was like, why does your name look different? And then I was like, oh, he's jumping on in between YouTube and Twitch. Nice. Hey. I left so late. Dang it. Mistakes were made. Did they patch my... No! Those jerks! Oh, dang it. I had some weird glitch going on where I could destroy all the clay underwater in one hit. And it's fixed now. Dang it. Double the viewership, man. I need the views. The views. It feels so weird being on so early. I feel like I'm like, it's only 8:30. I've been getting on so late recently. Feels like I can never get anything done.
Meals on wheels.
Ugh, I'm so disappointed that that's happening. So sad. So... That's natural. Oh, it's that. I was like, why do I feel so slow? One trinket that doesn't have the quickness on it, and I feel like a snail. Maybe since you were off the last 2 nights, you had a mass inspiration, so you jumped on early. I wish. I mean, I had some. I have definitely had some inspiration. Don't get me wrong, but not massive. The inspiration, it's not even really inspiration necessarily right now. It's like motivation. I think part of that is just the last month, with only having childcare Tuesdays and Thursdays has just been exponentially long. The days are just really, really long. Watching my son and trying to work a full day. And my wife just has more work than I typically do, so I have to help her out, I try to do extra. Whenever I don't have anything to go for. Goodness, I'm never gonna catch him. I hate it. So it's been exhausting most days. Just trying to like keep up with him, keep up with emails, make dinner, get him dinner, because now he doesn't do bottles or anything anymore, so like that's a whole extra step that's happened. And then going from childcare Monday through Friday to childcare Tuesday and Thursday, and it's a 45-minute drive to drop him off at my wife's dad's house. So it's like it went from like less than a 10-minute drive to my parents' house every day. We have it so easy, so it's like it's definitely not complaining here. But just doing a full day's work while trying to watch a kid that's like in the chaos phase of being like 1.5. He's like into everything, all over the place. He's moving and grooving every day. He's a busy kid. Takes a lot to be entertained at the moment. So I think once we are back from vacation, one, that will be relaxing and rejuvenating, and the weather will be really nice. It's like snowed yesterday here, so getting into some nice weather will be really good. And then my mom will also be back, since they're flying back at the same time we are. So we all fly back together, and then she resumes her normal schedule of watching him during the day while we work. So it'll go back to much easier days after the trip, which is going to be very nice. Energy levels will be much higher. Sir, you can leave. Good. Came here for pond moss, so I might as well get a ton of it. Guy is so annoying. Dagger sucks though. Not upgraded enough. I think I need to make this thing sour and fully upgrade one. This is horrible. Miss Oregon? Oh, I love Oregon, man. I live in Bend now. I grew up in Portland, which was great, but I'm really happy to be kind of away from it now. Bend is like, you get everything Portland gets for the most part. Good food. Just a little bit smaller, which is nice. Not that things were super far away, but I'm 20 minutes from the mountain. So I can go skiing in 20 minutes, and it's very amazing. It's a really nice place to live. And it's pretty much the same cost as living in Portland, so take that as a positive or a negative. Cheaper for us because we're renting from my parents. Managing their little rental. Dude, you just got destroyed. Run to the hills. Yeah, so I'm definitely hoping that the some of the enthusiasm and motivation comes back with normal childcare and stuff. It's just so freaking expensive. It was like it's gonna be over $1,000 for the month for 2 days a week. And we're like, is that really worth it, or do we just like raw dog it? Just say screw it and try to make it work. Neither of our bosses really care. Like, we still get the same amount of work done. Just we're a little less, have a little less communication during the day. But it also worked out because my boss was in Europe for 2 weeks. Which worked out really well because I could just do my job as needed throughout the day. I didn't really have to worry about it. I'm an everything fan, Lude. I'll listen to just about anything. And I've heard just about everything. My dad loves, like, all old school rock and metal and everything. And then he also has... and just anything old. Not old, but... you know what I'm saying. Anything from that era... he's listened to. So I know I have a very good selection of older music as well as new stuff. Oh, that's my trinket. I was like, oh, dang it, I got the same one again. I'm dim. I'm definitely one of those people that will listen to just about anything, though. There's very, very little music I don't like. If it's a good song, I like it. Doesn't have to be a specific genre. Yeah, old school. That's a better way to do it. I haven't gotten Pawn Miles in so long. It's so random that this build, the stupid ash cement doors need this. Can't complain too much. It's not like it's that big of a deal, but... I'm pretty much, as long as it's got... not that I don't like music from this... like from when I was growing up. I love a lot of music. It's not really anything, but like most music that uses actual instruments and stuff, like I'm gonna find some enjoyment in. I just am a fan of good music, really. I may not listen to Iron Maiden every day, but sometimes you just need a little, you know. Pretty much other than some of the weirder electronic, like I even like electronic music for the most part, but other than just some of the stuff that goes a little far, I'm pretty much will listen to anything. I got used to it because both my parents have very different styles of music that they like. Let's just go to Moldorks and get the some more of this. Alright, let's kill this guy, because he won't run away. Where's this milk molar? I haven't been able to find this one for some reason. No, there's, I think it's like on the grass somewhere around here, but... no, wrong way. Down here? Oh, it's always up. I don't know why I can't find... is it on the lily pad? Is that where this one is? Maybe? I can't remember. The older I get, I find myself referring to older stuff. I mean, doesn't that go hand in hand, right? As we become older, everything we talk about becomes older. So is life, right? Ah, it is the one on the branch. I was just looking on the wrong branch. Listening to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack a lot more. I know, shocker and all, but I really enjoy the symphony style music. It is, I mean, I feel like they won a lot of awards for that for all the music. They won a lot of awards for everything in the movies, but I don't tend to listen to soundtracks as much as I probably would enjoy. I wish I could listen to stuff like that on stream, just like cool background stuff, but unfortunately with the copyright crap, you can't really do anything. I just listen to this random generic music. Leave me alone! I am literally about to go back to the base and make a freaking sour one and upgrade it all the way to kill these things because they're driving me nuts. It just makes sense. Let's do it. Why not? Vengeance will be mine. Probably makes the dagger a lot better being sour as well, since nothing's resistant to it, really. Dude, every single one dropped, except for one, dropped a feather. It's been a couple days, but like, just randomly coming around to this many feathers is so nice. 2 feathers, 2 things, 15 feathers. Like, this is crazy. I love it. Best change ever. This alone is worth the whole Halloween update being a mess. It's just too good. It's just far too good. Game needed it though. Really bad. Oh, I don't spider venom? Well, I don't have enough spider venom. A lot of water fleas, they're the worst. They're so annoying. They don't like do any damage hardly at all. They're just there to like bug you. They offer nothing as. I don't think they were supposed to keep dropping feathers, but they are, and I don't think they're gonna change it from the sounds of it. That's sort of the way I understood options. Guy's name is Options. He's one of the main moderators that still like talks on the Discord, or he's one of the, not a moderator, he's one of the few developers that talks on the Discord at this point. And that was sort of his explanation. Because I specifically asked him, I was like, please just make it so it does it. Like, it's such a good addition to have. Especially because I didn't think we were going to continue getting them. So the fact that it works is, like, really, really nice. It's so convenient, honestly. Especially because it's just such a, like, frustrating mechanic typically. Like, it's just rough at times trying to get feathers. Now, I don't use a whole lot, so I've just kind of like been collecting the ones every new game plus. You get a ton. So, and then you can go through the haze and kind of get a bunch, but if you're using them, like, you go through them so fast. It's honestly ridiculous how fast they go. So it's nice to have a way to, like, just easily get them. It's not quite as painful of a process overall. Alright, we're going back with a vengeance. tempt. Oh, I could have done. I'm an idiot. I should just get a good sour dagger, infused dagger. Maybe I need to. That would be smarter. Not that I really care. But that would be a good addition to just get a sour dagger to have around. Since water fleas, a little salty, but sour is still good against them. The only really real thing that matters is the spiny water fleas, so. Then I could melt those suckers just for fun. And where they are, there. It'd just be too good. It's probably worth reloading for a widow dagger that's infused with it just sour up best. It probably is. It would be good enough. Want as many useful infused weapons as possible, you know. Like, they're so fun. And they're really good, so it's definitely worth it. That doesn't do any more damage, hardly at all. Feels horrible. I thought this was going to do way more damage. Definitely have to upgrade it then. Struggle's not having lifesteal. This isn't working the way I thought it was going to. I'm a failure. They just destroy my armor. That's all this is doing. It's not even worth it. I regret my decisions. Alright, so it needs to be an infused sour dagger to be good. Noted. Definitely noted. Gives me something at some point to just sit and roll for, though, so that doesn't suck. Ah, no, they're gonna kill me. I got cocky. Just no armor. Destroys me. Alright, I hate it. I'm leaving. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. You guys are rude. Alright, I gotta switch position. Gotta sit down. I'm trying to stand as much as possible, but that's when I've been like, oh, I've been standing the entire stream, but I've only been streaming for 2 hours recently. Feels like for the past week or so. And now it's been 2 hours about. That's why my back is starting to hurt. But what's the point of having sit-stand desk if you don't use it, you know? Alright, so that was an epic failure. So I actually was thinking at some point we should fight the broodmother, so maybe we just do that once or something. I don't know. Maybe that's how I end the stream tonight. I'll fight the broodmother once at the very end of stream tonight, and then I can just reload that save to get daggers. Don't know how you could stay on the whole stream, dude. I would go nuts. One, it keeps me more awake. Like, sitting down is just naturally, like, I get more tired. And also, I sit, like, I just naturally hunch over because of the mic, and I have bad posture all day. So standing forces me to have good posture for at least a little while during the day, and I sit at my desk all day anyways, mostly. So overall, it's been pretty good for me. But I haven't been standing quite as much as that typically. I don't stand for 3.5 hours like I was streaming at one point. typically ends up with me standing for an hour and a half or 2 hours. Yeah, I used to be on my feet all day long, and I would never do that. I sit at a desk working all day. Now, this last month has been a little different because I'm typically downstairs with my son. So it's sort of pseudo, but I'm sitting downstairs. I'm sitting all the time. Then I come upstairs and I sit and work, and I sit on stream, and when he takes a nap, I'm sitting down. So there's a lot of sitting. For sure. Just a lot of sitting. Because I used to be very active, and I'm just not right now. But I'll get back into working out and everything as well once childcare goes back to normal. I gotta finish that too. You and your dang book idea. Frickin' Luderav making me work so hard over here. You gotta have all these good ideas and make me work harder. Trying to be lazy. Do it the easy route, but no, Luderav's gotta build cool things. Make me feel jealous. Alright, one of these things is supporting all of this stuff, is it not? Apparently not. No, it's fine. I need it. I also want to find a place to do something like this. I just don't know where. Looks cool though. Alright, let's go with this. Like, what teleporter is this thing at? Secret passage. Dang it, you can't get through it. Do need to be careful leaving this stuff open. Because an antlion could get through if we're not careful. And we don't want that. Oh, dang it. That guy, man. What happened to these antlions? They're like in the ground? Huh. They usually don't go underground. Oh, what the heck? That one's just appeared in front of me. What are you? Get out of here. What is happening? Normally there's not guys over here. Weird thing is he's like attacking me, but not. Please, no. I don't want any stop kicking my blocks everywhere. He's like stuck. Come on, nerd. I don't really want to kill you, but... might regret that. Oh, it's my stupid ant. That's the problem. Gosh dang it. We gotta bring him back quick. I'm an idiot. You cannot have... everything works fine until you bring a pet ant, or any pet with you, because they start going through the floor for some reason. I always forget that. I don't know why. I guess he's not going to do any damage over there. I was like, I could not understand why everything was going to crap, but I wasn't actually getting attacked, so I was like, what is happening? Gotta be careful with those frickin' baby ants, dude. They're the real problem. They're so useful, but you cannot bring them over your builds like this. I still struggle to understand why they don't stay on top with me. Kind of annoying, but it's what it is. Gotta do what you gotta do. All feels pretty good though. It's coming together. It's not perfect, but the details are slowly getting worked out. Open the door. It also doesn't help that I'm on medium now instead of mild, which making the combat definitely more difficult than it was. Mild was too easy though. So tired of detail work? Yeah. It is repetitive for sure. I do like a mixture of both. It can be a little difficult to not kind of be stuck. Like, this is all detail work that has to be done. The big easy stuff was really quick, unfortunately. There's still plenty to do, but the big stuff was really easy and quick, and then this came together too fast, this came together too fast, and then all my big builds are done. Like, I have no big builds for this, like, till we get outside of it, of course. Dang ant. Ruining everything. I was like, this guy doesn't ever attack me. What is happening? Thought I rigged the system. I want to do this new base. I'm ready for something new. Yeah. It's been the nice thing about this whole sandbox is it was like a big enough scale that everything was new, but it was all one thing, which I really, really do well with. Like, I love the big picture stuff. I've always really enjoyed like the master planning phase of architecture. That's always been one of my favorite phases, just because I like trying to picture out the larger entire thing. Laying things out, making it work. The smaller details I tend to not care as much about. They're not necessarily my favorite thing. I do enjoy them just in the sense that, like, as they come together, it gets really exciting. Oh, good. I almost forgot that I was like, I needed clay. Crap. Oh yeah, the whole reason we did that. Jails aren't going to be very secure, though. I can just open the doors. Not really any way to put a lock, unfortunately. Jail wasn't supposed to be this expensive. What the heck? You enjoy the detail work, it's just methodical and gets tedious. Yeah. I like throwing it in, not just doing it. Definitely one of those things, like I like intermittent. Ugh, I can't talk. Intermittent. Say it really fast, it's easier. It's just intermittent detail. It's not as methodical and all-consuming. It's a lot more trial and error too. Like, you really, the big stuff you just lay out and then you go for it, and then it's like all of a sudden you got to get on this like smaller scale and really have to start thinking, finalizing details because of it. definitely is an interesting phase. Because it's like some of the hardest work. It's pretty easy to make the big boxes, but then the details of them, that's what makes it fun. It makes the build cool and interesting, but it also is like the mentally draining part of building. Or if I'm ever gonna like burn myself out, it's the detail work that gets me. Whereas starting the new project is always reinvigorating. And even like this stuff that's not necessarily... These aren't the biggest builds by any means, but they're big enough that like I can crank through them really fast, but it's also keeping me very interested. The issue is now, I think finishing the Many-Faced God's Temple, at least the exterior of it, is like all the scale of these builds goes dramatically down. So the detail goes down and the decision making becomes more ambiguous and random. And like a lot of these decisions just get made like on these bigger things, like the shapes and the way they had to work just worked because that's how the like sandbox was. This all follows the general things, and then now it's like I'm filling in spaces that I'm like I forced myself into because the big builds are where they are. So because it's a different monster to tackle for sure. But it's funny because when the details are like flowing, that's probably my most inspired time, which is the funny part. It's like when I'm the most like, oh, I'm ready to go. This is really cool. Because as those interesting details come together, it's like that's what gets me excited and ready to go. I think these smaller scales are also just very difficult to work in. I think that's definitely a big reason I like tell people to work at a larger scale, because it becomes less difficult, I think, to deal with the random... The details are easier at a larger scale, typically. There's more that you can do, but the fact that there's more you can do, it feels better. I don't know. Well, I might have to work this out a different way. Could just go this way. Oh no. We'll figure the detail out of this. I'm not too worried about it right now. Rather work on the actual thing. I think we're gonna want... Ugh. I definitely want this to feel as dungeony as possible. So I think we're gonna have to be something like ash cement the whole way. Could. Jeez. Talking is hard, apparently. Could, sort of use... I'm not really sure how this detail works here, but... There's something I like about this. I don't know what. But maybe just creating this little detail every once in a while will look cool. So it'd be in every corner. So then we need more ash cement. Also find myself realizing I haven't built big enough in some aspects. I want this and this and this. So for instance, trying to get a kitchen, bedroom, living room, and possible basement into one house. Yeah. It's the smaller you are, the the smaller the build, the harder it is to really like make those really interesting details. But I mean, like, my houses aren't much bigger or smaller than yours. We're pretty similar in the size on those, so doomed ourselves. Make this 2. Yeah. Get rid of that piece. That's fine. Yeah. It's like the big builds make it really easy to just work with whatever detail you want. Like, it's almost pure freedom, I think is what it feels like. Whereas when you're like on these smaller houses and stuff, it's a different, the scale's so much harder to work with and make interesting. You're kind of stuck with the same details. Maybe, who knows? Make this way bigger, yeah. I think we need to. Definitely did not plan for this to be quite so expensive, but it makes the most sense. Unfortunately. They have managed to make some nice walkways down the docks in the Koi Kingdom for something of a different build. Yeah, interesting. I'm excited to see that as well, for sure. It's definitely a good use of this random space. Like, kind of feels perfect that this thing like randomly already had a little walkway that'd be like, oh, this is perfect. Like, walk them down this jail cell thing. We have like multiple doorways and stuff as we go to. See how it all goes, I think. It'll work well, though. Make this little dungeonous pit. Real question is who's gonna be the unfortunate group that gets locked away. Not really. I never really thought of who this base is for, and that needs more work before a tour. Yeah, I mean, that works. I mean, that's why, kind of the same reason I haven't necessarily done a big tour for my stuff as well recently. I think this wants to be just one. A narrower walkway. I mean, I'm not in any, like, rush for them necessarily, so taking your time and making it to a level that like you're excited about just makes it better overall, so it's all good. But if you want pressure, feel free to add it to yourself to like do more. That's what I used for see-through, like when I did the tour with him. I used it as like pressure to get it done and force myself to build like a little quicker. So whatever you need. There's definitely no pressure. It is all good. I know. Damn. I got a kink on my neck the other day too, which has been horrible. So that didn't feel very good there. My neck is not happy with me. I think it was from all the adrenaline of having to kick my door down, essentially, to get my son out, because he locked himself on our bedroom door. Or in our bedroom. Because he figured out he could lock the door. I think it was on accident, but I don't think he even knew he touched it, really. But that was a fun experience. I think you missed that one, Lude, when I was talking about it earlier. Good times. Good times. That's what I spent my Wednesday night doing, breaking my son out of our bedroom. It was not the stressful night that I was looking for. By any means. Pressures, rest decisions, yeah. Definitely been there. Dude, it was so crappy. Because I had like nothing. It has an actual key lock on it, and since it's like a rental, we don't have the key. I think it just someone added it and then never gave the key up or whatever, and it's like I've never needed it. No, we don't lock the bedroom door ever. So, and it had never really crossed my mind. But that would need to be something that we address. So that was, yeah, very stressful. It was like 30 minutes till I got him out, finally. Finally remembered I had a pry bar and just broke the door. And then I proceeded to get him to bed. And then had a couple Jack and Cokes. Because, whew, it was rough. Oh my gosh, I'm almost out of ash cement too. I'm killing myself here. Too distracted, and I don't realize how much crap I'm using right now. Yeah, we're taking all the locks off of the doors. Completely. Like, his bedroom has a lock on it. Now, it has 2 doors, and one of the locks is on the other side, but we're going to move the lock onto the outside of the door so we can always get to it. Rough, though. Was not an experience I really needed. What's up, big boy? How's it going? You joined at the most just invigoratingly entertaining part of the stream, where I'm processing some materials so we can keep building. But we will be back to building here in a second. Currently working on a big jail. Not huge, it's not that big, but it's a jail that is part of our massive city. In sort of the dungeons. And I think it's turning out pretty good so far. I didn't even really play grounded the last 2 nights, so I did not process materials like I normally would. Saw your comment? That ain't rare. I see everyone's comments on my stream. Always amazed people say that, like, I feel like that's the streamer's job, to see comments and respond. I mean, let's be realistic, there's only a handful of people in the stream, so it's pretty easy to see all the messages for me. Regards to the people in jail, spider armor always look good behind bars. I mean, that would make sense, right? If I hate anything, it's going to be the spiders. They are kind of a sad people. That didn't really get me much ash cement, unfortunately. Yeah, this is the build we're working on. Some people pre-record? Oh, that's weird. Why not just do a video then? I have VODs. I mean, like, I have a lot of stuff that's not, like... If you looked on my channel, you could watch all the old VODs, but... No, I'm live. We are live. Might as well, right? We are recording live from Nappy Boy Studio. Singa. But I pride myself on responding to anyone and everyone's comments, unless I find it like inappropriate or something. We'll respond to it. Inappropriate or immensely off topic are about the only things that'll get me. Real question is, how long is it going to take me to get to the point where I'm actually placing the armor dummy? Could be a ways off, I don't know. Bounce from topic to topic. You're always on topic, though. It's just different build topics. That's all helpful. Me and my friend are trying to build a base, but it's kind of working. If you want help from anyone, feel free to join our Discord. We have some really, really good talented builders. Specifically Grounded is the game most people play, but we do have other channels for people playing other games as well. But there's a lot of people that have built a lot in Grounded that are can help answer questions and send pictures and stuff. We can all kind of help you out. I'd like to think we've created a pretty crazy good set of building. A little bit of a building community we got going on. Pretty impressed with how many good builders there are in the Discord. It's a great place to bounce ideas off of other people and stuff. And I can recommend anything this man shows. He's a phenomenal builder with all sorts of ideas. Also, Ludarev is also the same. I just stream it. And I do base tours of his stuff for him. The door, so I want to stop here. Perfect, I didn't build that out. Thank you. I do it for everyone, though. I build crazy things, so people have a place to come and hang out and build crazy things too. Keep pressing the wrong button. Oh no, we're out. Sad day. Yeah, we need lots of charcoal ash. It's gonna be the way to go. But yeah, if you have any questions about building or I have some stuff on my channel. The stream VODs have tons of just random building. By one YouTuber rating your pond base. Oh, who was that? Now I want to see who rated the base and what they thought. I know I did my original video. I did a base tour on See-Through's channel of the Pagoda base in its earlier forms. And then I have updated tours of different pieces I've done on the Pagoda on the channel as well. 10 out of 10. I mean, we're definitely at some point going to have to go back and rebuild the Pagoda base, so... Because I think the builds... It could be... It's really cool now. There's a lot of cool things about it, but it could be made much better. I don't know if it was you, though? Don't know. Let's save some of those. I rate the sandbox build much higher than the Pagoda at this point. I love the Pagoda base, but this whole thing has turned into just insanity. You might have a slight bias. Just a slight, very minimal bias there, Lude. I won't hold it against you, though. Oh, interesting. I don't think I've even really seen many people like rate bases at all. Surprised. I've pretty much seen all of the grounded content there is out there. I try to watch every bit of content on it that there is. That's a bit of ash cement for us to keep going, but man, this jail was not supposed to be this expensive. You know, if you start a new creative game and save, does the override that's the story game saves? You should be able to have multiple saves. Like, you should be able to have a creative world and multiple survivor worlds. And you can at least have, like, I have a purely creative world to test stuff out here and there, and then I also have a survival world. But you can't turn a survival world into a creative world. I do know that. You can make them custom, just not creative. Yeah, that's fine. That part doesn't work. Oh, it does. We're good. It was close. Yeah, Ludorev is the creative expert here. If you have any questions at all. That is what he does. Purely creative building is what that man does. He's never even played the survival in this game. He's just built for thousands of hours. Right, I'm gonna get really low on weed stems after all this too. Thought I collected enough for eternity. all I play in. Yep. You got fans, Lude. You got fans. Yeah, no, Ludorav stuff's nutty. I feel like each one needs just a little, like... It would probably be an egregious waste. But does it not feel like a little telepotty in each one of these would look great? I only have PS5. I think my console world would crash if I tried to build something that big. Yeah, that's like when I did a tour with the developers, the first on the Casually Grounded stream, it was like for the first 5-6 minutes their consoles were just lagging out. It was very funny. And this Lude's world's insane at this point. It has so much built. Crazy. Be surprised of any machine, any console that can handle that very well. Didn't really think about that. That's just going to be a wall. I guess that makes sense. Builds and videos are amazing too, though. I built a pagoda and remember these because of your video. Let's go. I always love when people enjoy the videos, man. That is why I do it. Help people build and continue giving this amazing game the continual coverage that it deserves. It's been great seeing some of the other content creators coming back to it, and that it's at a point where people are wanting to play it again. Like there was a phase there where it was just a little difficult because of some of the updates and struggle and issues that the game was having. But I feel like it's in a really good spot right now. Dare boot my world on console. I've always thought it'd be really funny to try to boot my world up on my Switch, but I would have to like buy a burner Switch because I guarantee it would explode. It would just catch fire if the game even allowed it. I think it would just tell me to, like, it would just laugh at me when I'd press load. But the developers struggled with it with just the pagoda base build, so that was a lot less stuff. Like, that wasn't in a big build, but comparatively to where this is, like, it's nothing. Yeah, I don't think the Switch would actually allow it, but I think it'd be funny. Gotta do like an entire layer. Yeah. Well, I could do. Oh, dang it. Oh, that gets a little weird. Dang it. Can't get rid of those, though. Hey. Oh. We're in a pillar. Like, what the heck? Didn't realize you could actually get through there. So much ash cement. What am I doing? Need more clay, too. the one downside of starting stream so much earlier is I'm just going through so much more material with the extra like hour and a half of build time. Cranking through this stuff. I honestly was like, I don't really think I'm going to need any more clay or anything at this point. Like, I've pretty much used it everywhere I'm going to use it, and then we're out here doing this. Killing myself. How is that not supported now? Bummer. I was really hoping that that would make that whole thing supported. Still has a chance, but not ideal. Let's not trap ourselves. So much ash cement. What am I doing? It's like not, but it is. Compared to what I've used previously, it really isn't that bad, but feels ridiculous. For an underground build, I think it's part of the thing there. This random thing I just came up with an hour, a stream or two ago. This will be a great idea. You won't waste tons of materials or anything. It's always how it goes. But it needs to feel like a dungeon, you know? Like it's like this underground jail that you're like maximum security. If it works, it works. That's true. What do I have to complain about? That's why I do this, so might as well do it. If we're gonna do it, might as well do it. Pretty jail-like. There's definitely more detail to add as we go, but I don't understand why the handy net can only open one way. Okay, so if we put one of these here, it just said it wasn't supporting anything. Dang it. No. Oh, goodness. We might have to live with that one piece because it's not going to want to move for some reason. Might have to build around it a little bit more to mess with it. It's definitely the simplest way to do the jail cells. I mean, it's not like this is a very random little thing. So, like, overall, it's not like I'm really worrying about. It's just kind of a fun little thing that, like, if you explored the world enough, you'd just find this random, like, jail down underneath the ground. I think they make for fun little parts of the tour is a big part of it. Really. Do this. If telepotties weren't so expensive, I would contemplate putting telepotties in, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 24. Yeah, that's 2.4 million raw science just for potties, telepotties. Maybe there's a couple lucky few, you know. But I think these will work well enough. We'll add details, add them in as we go, but it's a great little addition, you know. These are just the random little things I want to keep adding as we go. Actually, these. The cool little valleys. Where'd they go? Lovely. And maybe some torches or something, but we'll figure that out later. Yeah, it's too many telepodies, realistically. It's unrealistic. Okay, let me out. That's why I hate first person. It's definitely a ash cement door build, though. I wish I could do a cool door like that. That would be way better. But not possible. Dude, struggle. Really? Oh my goodness. Dude, what a mess. Ay. Okay. Still want to work on this building a little bit. It's definitely not where I want it to be. I might make it more like this, honestly. I don't know what. I just really like something about this. Maybe pine cone? You can't do pine cone, but I don't know, maybe. Could do some of it. Just such an interesting detail that I've never used before. Makes me want to go crazy. Is it too much? Never. Is it too much? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't hate that side. I don't know. That's also kind of cool. No, there really isn't. You can't have too much detail. If it's the right detail, you can't have too much. I really wish that this could flip to go upside down. If I could make like a diamond, that would look really cool. I would use that detail all over the place. Hey, Backwoods, welcome in, man. Sleep yet? Need to keep farming materials. Gotta remember to get the feathers as well. I've never had a full chest of feathers, and I want to. I want all the feathers. Crazy. Only 940. I need to get ash cement every day now too, since we pretty much used it all. Luckily, and I say this like an idiot, I don't think I have a whole lot of ash cement left to use in this build. I'll definitely use it in details, but the houses don't have it pretty much anywhere. Or if they do, it'll be very sparing, just like very little details. But other than the houses, there'll be just other details on builds I've already done.
I'm being cooked. I can't take this heat.
Yeah, I can't think of a whole lot of spaces. But things like this jail, I mean, I'm not upset if I find uses or reasons to use more of it. Like, I will never complain about, darn, I gotta use more ash cement. Like, it's my favorite material. So, I think if, like, little diamond shapes or anything might be kind of cool. Would look so nice flipping one of these over and doing that with burr. Oh, that'd be so nice. Bummer. Window or that? I don't know. Some little stuff. I mean, maybe it's like... the stem ones do look pretty nice. Ludarab did a couple of these. They're like stained glass windows, I guess you could think of them, right? It's not bad. That I actually kind of like, especially like with a little bit of a combination of that window type. Yeah, the ash cement ones, it's a decent detail, but it's not, doesn't feel quite right. But like, that's a nice window. That makes me want to like do all of them like that. We're gonna actually have to collect weed stems soon, dude. Keep coming up with ideas like this. Thing is, I don't want too many of them, but like these two houses feel like they need them. Like, that's exactly what should be in that little space. I don't know if you saw these windows I started messing with, Lude. But I think I might do some of this stuff around too. Since I just don't love these. On these bigger buildings, these small windows don't look good. I'm just trying to figure out the patterning of it for some of these big walls. Some of these like might get upper horizontal windows as well. But like these ones need bigger windows for sure. The small houses I like these for, but not everyone feels quite right for that yet. Yeah. Well, I was working on the slit windows, the like vertical slit windows, and I was like, why have I not ever done it the other way? Like, why have I never done it horizontally? That doesn't like, seems like a natural fit, you know? Oh yeah, I forgot to do the stairs. They're a nice little detail, though, for sure. I like them. Wonder if the acorn stairs might actually be better here. Oh, and I put that one too close. Oops. Gotta have room to actually build a landing. This is the sort of area I actually kind of prefer to do like a floating staircase. You use these ones and then just the triangles as like a stringer. Creates a little bit less of a clunky stair, which is nice. Needs a landing, just jump off the stairs. I mean, it is for criminals, right? What do they deserve? This is where the worst of grounded offenders go, so... Also feels like a place where... Dude. Who's pressing the wrong button on my freaking keyboard? Guys. Now let's just hope no antlions come in here, you know? I don't think there should be any way for them, but you never know. Dude. 100% thought I pressed F. What the hell? Oh man, sometimes. This feels like the right time for these as well. Definitely haven't used these quite enough. Being on the back side of those stairs is a good way to light up the stairs without seeing. Yeah, true. Very true. Probably save lighting for way later. Not bad. Get to the job done. We got a jail now, y'all. It's not the prettiest thing, but I mean, it's a jail, right? I will get some like seats like this added everywhere. Question is, do I like this better? Yeah. I want them to sort of feel like the little like cable metal things. Like this is just a crappy bench, like a little cable holding it up on each side. It's crappy as could be. It's got the right dark feel. So I think it's good. It's not bad. Try to keep that closed. Double protection, triple protection. Look at that. No one's getting out of there. Thank you, Backwoods. Thank you. That got done pretty quick, though. Much faster than I didn't think I was gonna like finish it, other than the like details of adding stuff, but not bad. Getting dangerously low on everything. Are you supporting what? You're not on right. Dang it. Rude. To mess with it later. Naturally, it doesn't even break. Yeah, there we go. Supporting nothing. Be collecting materials the rest of the stream. That's kind of what it's feeling like. I don't want to. We did a lot of little stuff. I also want to try to make... I'm not fully sure. So, like, I think this is the part of the build, this entire build, that's really throwing me for a loop right now. Because I know, like, this is housing. This is housing. It's just fill it in with housing. This is housing over here as well. Fill it in. It is what it is. It's all going to be sort of variations on what I've already done over here. So I'm just not super excited about building little houses right now. Like, I want to do some other stuff mentally. But this central area is like weighing on my head, and I don't currently know what to do with it. So I'm trying to figure out, like, maybe it's some... I was looking up, what is it? The Arc de Triomphe in France, or in Paris. As, like, maybe something interesting, like it becomes this, like, big... Not really sure if it's just a gate here, necessarily, and then we have some smaller details, or is it, like, a larger wall sort of thing that goes around... Don't mind this. This was just me messing around with those horizontal windows. But in theory, something like some type of archway... whatever, that then stuff goes inside of. Like, maybe this is a big... The hard part is there's no water, but it'd be a cool little just, like, plaza walk area. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be... Originally, I thought it was going to be the market, but then now that this thing is going to be the market, I like this way, 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 way better. So I'm kind of like, this just gets to be something. So I'm sort of thinking that maybe it gets this, like, big sort of arch entry thing, and then I figure out how to sort of tie that in to these sort of smaller... I've also was looking at the like Roman aqueducts as well. So, like, doing some of these smaller arches and stuff and creating something. But, like, yeah, walk through garden. I think that's sort of the idea I'm thinking through. It's just like, how the heck is this going to work? I do not currently know. And unfortunately, it's, like, not centered on anything, so it's funky, to say the least. Like, this is an entrance, so it's got to come over to here and sort of, like... I have to figure out how to meld all three of these builds without taking away from the other ones, but also adding to them. So I'm kind of thinking, like, big archway here, and then smaller arches sort of on the sides to kind of bring the scale down a little bit, so you get this emphasis right in the middle with two big archways on each side, and the walls sort of, like, taper down into something a little bit more like this size with arches. And then, I don't know, then it's not huge, but some type of garden. In a perfect world, it would be more like this whole build is, with, like, water integrated into it, like fountains and stuff. But I could put a mantis fountain very similar to how I did this in the center and just create a similar vibe to what I've done here, but as a purely outside space. Just columns and something like that. I don't know. Centerness ADD. Yeah, it's a struggle. The way I've built this whole thing goes against, like, all of my tendencies, because there's so many, like, different grids and things going on. It also, I'm trying to, like, make it so not too much of this feels, because, like, this is on the same grid, this is on the same grid, this is on the same grid, this is on the same grid. So I'm trying to, like, create other ways to break them up a little bit, because everything being the same direction is going to look really weird. So it's really nice that at least this is on a different thing than this, so at least some of these areas don't feel quite the same. But we're going to have to create some more randomness. I'm thinking we're going to redo a lot of this too, Because this needs... It's interesting, but it does nothing. I don't know what to do with it at the moment. So we have to really rethink how this space and what this is even going to be. And this space is really random enough that it feels good. But we got some work to do in creating the randomness. I think we'll definitely have to build off of this wall for some of these houses to make sure the grids feel a little weird, different. Because this is all very repetitive. Does activating... Sorry, I didn't see this sooner. Does activating HandyNet mess anything up with your achievements? Yes. If you go to a custom game, it will disable achievements. But if you plan on going to New Game Plus, you can automatically unlock the HandyNet in New Game Plus 1. So, sort of a... They give you an option. That doesn't ruin it necessarily. But you have to beat the game first, essentially. I'm gonna have to do a little more research on the Arc de Triomphe and stuff that I'm looking at. Find the images. Thought I saved an image or two, but maybe I didn't. Let me just save these in my file real quick. Or not, this being a turd. Whatever. Been on the fence, but we'll wait to activate New Game Plus. Yeah. It's nice to build with it, but you don't need it by any means. It's not necessary. It's just very convenient, I think, is really what it comes down to. It does make life exponentially easier. The nice thing is if you want to go to New Game Plus, you do not have to beat the IBM. Now, you should beat the IBM before you go to New Game Plus because everything gets exponentially harder once you do. So you have to be very careful that you've done everything you want to do before you go to New Game Plus. It's like, although every New Game Plus gives you a better chance at getting gold cards, like I think New Game Plus 5, it's 100% drop rate. They're exponentially harder to get though still, and you still have to get to New Game Plus 5, so it all depends on how you want to play the game and see yourself playing the game. Like I lost out on, I had all the achievements up to the 1.4 update, and then they added 4 or 6 new achievements, whatever it was, and so a handful of them I couldn't get. So I'll have to do another playthrough to get those at some point. But for me, it was enough knowing that I've done the things that are needed anyways. Last thing you're lacking is the IBM. It's just, I guess, if you want some advice on what build to use, I can help you with that. But more than anything, it's just, it's really just learning the attack patterns and what you really have to focus on. It's a tough fight though, especially if you're playing on like WoW. Even on medium, it's really difficult at times. I don't think I've ever felt like it was an easy fight. But that was, I mean, it was only added to be extremely difficult. There's no, because it doesn't, you don't have to do it. There's no like requirement of any kind for the story. So they're like, it was for all the people that were complaining the game was just so easy and they needed something. And then everyone was like, it's too hard. Like its only job is to be difficult. There's no other point to it but to challenge yourself. And boy, when you go to New Game Plus, does it challenge you. That is for sure. It's a tricky one. I still struggle with that fight, and the infused version of it is insanity at times. I think it would feel much better currently. With the most recent update and having a black ant with 50% damage reduction and all that. Like, I think it'll feel a lot better right now, but it's still very difficult. Essentially, before New Game Plus, you just want to go in with an infected toenail scimitar that's fresh, and then your choice of armor, but fire ant and a brood mother helmet, like what I'm wearing, work really well. And then the trinkets are always kind of difficult. You could use the fungal charm to avoid the explosions. Some people really like that. Some people feel like it's worthless. It's a tough fight. The most important part of it is learning to perfect block the scream. If you can perfect block the scream, the fight is like 10 times easier. It's only really difficult if you don't block that the scream attack, because she's just so hard with the reduced everything. You just get so many damage reductions and healing reductions and everything that it just like all of a sudden makes the fight exponentially more difficult. The second you miss one. And then it tends to be a cycle. I find that like as soon as you miss one, you keep missing them over and over and over again. And it just like gets more and more difficult as you go. So it's a toughie. But yes, a rite of passage is definitely the way to put it. Go in the ground, please. That's the one, Luderev. Around here we build, we build, not battle. That's the motto. I'm gonna try this. I want to see if it looks good. I feel like I could do some really interesting lighting with this, so I kind of want to send it. See what happens. And I like this entrance so much, I want to just keep making it interesting. I almost want to make that a door. What kind of lighting could we do? Wonder how this interacts. Kind of hoping it would like slide inside more. First person. Kind of does. It's kind of silly, but we'll see. Are you still live or leaving soon? Probably around for another 20-30 minutes maybe. But I am live. We are here. We're doing our thing. It is also Friday night, so there's that. I don't hate the other direction. Why? It's kind of interesting too. That would allow for more interesting lighting. I'm glad I could school you on some lighting for once, because I feel like you're the lighting master. I don't know. What have you been building today? We worked on some random details, just of different builds. We've been kind of jumping around, doing all sorts of randomness, finishing out some of these areas, cleaning up just some little small spaces, making stairs more interesting, redoing walls, throwing in little details like wells and stuff. Actually, that reminds me. I didn't put the most important piece on this. That's what makes it look like a well. Except that's not centered. Just doing stuff like this, getting rid of some stairs, and then the main thing that we worked on was a jail. I haven't figured it all out by no means. I don't think anyone will ever figure out all the lighting at this point. There's so much craziness. So we redid this building that I'm still messing with. I'm not totally sold on what we're doing here. I'm just kind of playing around at this point. But we built this jail down underneath the barracks building we were working on. We've got all these jail cells now. Wonder if... Oh, the wrong height, dang. Structure would look nice, but it's too tall. Stay up late and work on my playground since I got my account back. Nice, man. That's awesome to hear. Nothing fun about losing accounts. Yeah, simple. We'll keep building them out as we go. The details haven't necessarily been added into these areas at all, but like each one down here, yeah. Each one will get like a little bench and some random little details and stuff, and then we'll put armor dummies and all that stuff in as we go. But I have to make sure I have enough room in the build to keep going. Well, the issue with stem pillars is sort of the same thing, that they're too high. There's not really a way to can't place them in the ground. It's one block. That's the issue with them being a full height one. Unfortunately, there's not just like a door. I just want this piece. One full stem piece that can just be like applied to things like right here. Like that, but not in the wall like that. As funny as that is, that just literally works. But that's sort of a detail I would really enjoy. Oh, that's why. Something, just a single block like that would be really cool. Could maybe get away with something like that. I just want this gone. And it would be perfect. Just a half one, full one, and horizontal one would be so good. Can you put two of those door rack on top of each other? Yeah, just like this. But unfortunately, you can't the way I have this done because of this. Could create an interesting little railing tech design, potentially. Never really messed with. Sort of interesting. I don't know if I love this part, though. Kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm not sold on it, but we can mess with it another time. I have to look at it for a little while. I just don't love this piece. It's more railing-like, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to love, like... I think this is where it's going to start falling apart for me. With, like, lots of them. I'd love that as a block, just a half one. That'd be really good. What's your highest New Game Plus survival? This is New Game Plus 6, currently, is what we're playing on. This world is custom, but it's all still the same survival. It's custom because it adjusts resources and building stuff so I can build bigger and better, but it's still 100% survival. I still collect all the materials, I still fight all the bosses, still doing all the story every single time, every single bit of it. The only difference is I've got the build limit turned off, of course, the handy nat turned on, pet invincibility, and I have hunger and thirst rate turned off now because I'm so high on New Game Plus. I got tired of running out of food every time I slept because I've turned the respawn rates of all the resources up and the day and night cycles up. So it was going so fast to get more resources to spawn to keep building more and more. I just got tired of dealing with hunger. So the only aspect of it is, but it's so easy to get food. You just kill aphids. And then I turned off raids at a certain point too. Once I started building this tall thing, I gave up on raids and they were no longer enjoyable, but I did 600 days in this exact world on WoW, and then the rest on medium normal survival. And then at the 1.2 update, I went to custom settings just to turn on the handy nat, and then it's been really good from there. Find it hard to find molars. It's a very long video, so stick with me, but Paralyzer has a guide that shows you all of the spots. After you watch the video one time, you should have a good enough idea that you know where the vast majority of them can spawn. There's a couple of them that you have to build to. There's one on top of the wheel of the barbecue that I use the mant launch to get to if I have to. The rest of them are mostly things that you can get to yourself, but each New Game Plus, I find it easier and easier to get them because I've experienced so many of the spots over and over again that I just kind of generally know where to look. And when the molar thing like pops up, it's really easy to tell. Also, completely ignore thirst and hunger. After the first New Game Plus 1 and 2, if you've fully upgraded the hunger and thirst, you'll never have to touch it again. You'll lose more hunger and thirst going to sleep, which it doesn't affect. You won't lose any during the day at a certain point. Like, it'll be so minimal it won't matter, that you'll just have to eat every night anyways. So I think it gets easier and easier every single New Game Plus, because you learn more and more. You get better and better at finding the locations. You know the locations more and more, but it's little by little. Maybe if you put a middle wall between the two racks, it would look cool. Not quite sure what you're saying. Can't quite picture it for some reason. I'm assuming you're talking about this. Yeah, I think the RNG is for a special breed of player as well. I think there's parts of it I like and parts of it I don't. I wish you could put it there. That would look better. It's almost too much is the part I don't like, where this is just cleaner and simpler. I'm not really like looking to make this the coolest space in the entire build. But like, I was a big fan of Diablo, so I get this like weird excitement for that kind of stuff, like loot rolling and all that. So I'm very used to doing things very, very repetitively. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love this detail. I think I just like the simple pattern more overall. But I might mess with it a little bit more at some point. Just doesn't quite work the way I would prefer it, so we'll see. So like re-rolling, there's something like cathartic and relaxing about just like sitting and re-rolling clubs for from the Broodmother on New Game Plus 4. I enjoy. I wish I got better trinkets. I've been pretty unlucky, but I haven't hated the trinket re-rolling process. I don't ever like re-roll them. I just do it with the normal sausager. Like, I don't do anything crazy. Those kind of suck, especially if you don't get anything good, but I think I'd be slightly more excited about it if it's so weird looking. Now I have to see it. It's a little funky to me. It's kind of too tentacly. I just wish there were things like certain things that couldn't roll. Honestly, I think that's the only thing that needs to be changed, in my opinion. Like, they're not going to go through and make this massive change at this point, but if they made it so like you couldn't get... Thanks for the tips, Timber. Off to play grounded. Enjoy. The whole point is giving tips so people are excited to play, so enjoy. If they changed the infusion so like I can't get arrow refund. Like I can't get. I don't want tenderfoot defense and offense on a freaking infused club, and some of the random things that just don't feel good. If those were removed, I think the rerolling would be much easier. Maybe put them on the sides, then a half floor just above the door, and a middle on top of the middle floor coming outside from the door. I'd have to see an image of that to fully understand it. It's always hard to tell exactly what everyone's... That's the only hard part about following chat's ideas, is it tends to be very difficult to follow other people's thought processes. But I do think that New Game Plus gets easier and easier the higher. The difficulty gets ramped up, but I think the other things get easier. And then as soon as you hit New Game Plus 4 and you get a couple good infused weapons, the game gets 10 times easier than New Game Plus 3. Like 10 times, easily 10 times easier. New Game Plus 3 was very difficult for me. New Game Plus 4 with a couple infused weapons was like a joke. It was so much easier. Like exponentially. It definitely makes it way more fun. Alright. I gotta do all the math on that to do that. About building a sewer system in the city, I sort of have one. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a sewer system, but I have a system of tunnels and stuff that we can look at real fast. That I've sort of created. Not as a system underneath, but they everywhere you think like there's chests or lab entrances or those things, there's some type of tunnel entrance to it. So like right here, so this is in the sandbox, the sandcastle's right here. You can go down here and your character fits down here. And then there's ant lions that spawn in here. And this upper floor is what keeps them, the lower floor and like the separation keeps them from spawning up top. This is where a chest spawns. So you can collect all the chests still. Say that 5 times fast. I was hoping they added the lizard at some point, or like an ant queen went here. It's kind of hard when you're on a desert. I mean, you can't do water necessarily, but so like this is where a chest spawns, and this is where one spawns. So I kind of think of this as like a sewer type system, like it's the Undercity and secret passageways and stuff. I have this. If you go down this way, underneath my main workshop area, there's basement access for all my storage, so pallets for grass and weed stem, jerky racks. Then this secret tunnel sort of thing goes out and around, out from the bottom of that base, out to here. There's like little staircases getting you to all these random places. Oop, don't need that. You come down this way. There's a few antlions that still come out, but this is where the black ant lab entrance is. So I would sort of consider this to be a the same concept, like a little tunnel system. Then we are also working on... There'll be some dungeon space stuff under here. Oh, oops. I forgot that guy still attacks me. There'll be dungeon space down there, underneath that big building. There's a little entrance down here. This will go to this area and like access a bunch of this stuff underneath here. And then the last sort of area, yeah, like a city catacombs. Like there's a lot. I mean, you could call it a million different things for sure. And then as you saw, like this base goes down and accesses this little lab space. But then I decided to also make it the entrance to the jail. And so like this is where a bunch of this stuff is too. But my goal is to have generally any place that I can fit stuff underneath, I will. That's sort of the goal. I need those, I don't want these. But you kind of go with it as you go, you know? We'll see how it all ends up. But anywhere that there's like... Oh, we also have... There's one other thing I forgot to... Have all this stuff go back. Works out. I can clean this area up, get these things out. Yeah, I'm good with just keeping that clean, I think. I can get those if I just falling here. Perfect. And all of this will get more detail as I go too, but I'm just kind of getting the basics done right now. There's also just a city could be enough for an entire playground map, right? Yeah, I was very hopeful at one point that they were going to make it so you could make survival worlds into playgrounds, and I was going to take this world in, but it didn't become an option. But we also have... There's one other place I actually forgot about real fast, too. Put this random stuff away. Oops. Where is it? What was I thinking? This. Make it daytime. And then I'll check out the last spot. Yeah, anywhere that I can build underneath what I've already built that won't allow antlions to like spawn in it, I'm gonna try to build in. Which is why like this stuff all got raised as we continued building. Like I was like, it just makes sense to come in the entrance of this castle and build up to stop these antlions and all that, and then there is actually, so underneath this, which is like the Great Hall, there is an actual catacombs. So, for all the pets. This is one of my favorite little spaces. I love this little addition. But man, I felt bad killing all these frickin' pets I spent an entire day. And then there's like candy over here, so there's... On top of being able to go up here and get to this whole thing and up into this build, there's this little area that goes into here. Haven't finished it yet, and some of these things don't want to place yet, so I gotta mess with it. But this is to get to the bucket over here, and there's technically candy that spawns there, so I wanted to have access to it. You always just copy the entire building to a playground world if you're crazy enough to rebuild it. No, impossible. I couldn't rebuild it in a million years. I don't know if it's even possible at this point. There's so much... There's too much going on to be able to. There's so many different grids, and it would turn out to be totally different. Just being off... Like, my pagoda base is very replicatable because it's very symmetrical and simple. It's a complicated build in its own right, but it's pretty easy to do. I don't even know how to get this wall right here placed correctly again, because it would change. If I didn't place this correctly, it would adjust everything. It would adjust how everything fits, everything connects. Recreating this would be almost impossible, I think. Especially because, like, this whole castle, everything here, this backspace, this, it's all on one grid. This grid extends out to this building, all of this stuff, and to here. Everything on this wall, there's this outer wall that builds around the whole thing. This is its own grid. This building is built off of that grid. Half of these houses are built off of that grid. This built off of this grid. This built off of this grid. All of this built off of that grid. They all meet in the middle, and recreating it, I think, would be physically impossible. It's taken so long. So unfortunately, yeah, you'd need millions of hours of help to recreate it, and I don't even know, honestly, if it's possible to recreate this thing at this point. It just has so many details and so many areas that it'd be very difficult to redo everything, even remotely close. It'd be very, very difficult. As much as I would love to have it for something, like people could make it into an adventure map or something, I just don't think it would ever happen. I'd love to be able to share it so people could use it, but at the same time, I think it's so big in so many pieces, it would crash most people's worlds. Like, people on console and everything wouldn't be able to run this properly. It just has so many pieces that my super ramped up computer struggles with it sometimes. I think those are all the sewer areas, though. There's lots of little passageways like this, like back alleys and weirdness that lead you into different builds. Many weird things that I've added and done as we've come up with ideas. I love having random entrances and just stuff everywhere. And there's definitely chances for more and other different things to be added as well as we go. There's lots of things to figure out. So I think next stream, which I guess will be Monday since it's already Friday, since I missed 2 streams. We'll be working on kind of this garden idea. We're going to have to get started on some of this housing as well as we go. So we're definitely going to have to start with some over here. We could use each build alone to create a new city. Whew. I don't know if I have it in me to create another city like this. This has taken me like over a year of building and streaming every night doing it now. I've been streaming for 6 months, and I actually was looking at my my old streams and stuff. I've been live streaming for 6 months, and when I started live streaming, all of this was already done, and a vast amount of the foundations were built out to here. We built everything here, this, all that. We did build the back castle and this stuff, all this stuff on stream. But I mean, it's taken 6 months of streaming. I say every night of the week. I streamed 3 to 5 days a week, depending on the week, and 3-ish hours. And that's on top of extra time I've used. It would go faster doing it in creative, but some of these things I think would be near impossible for me to recreate again. I don't know if I'd want to make a new city or not. It'd have to be something totally different. I think my next adventure, once we finish up this city, is doing a new playthrough, because I haven't started a new playthrough since I did this. I've been playing the same world since 1.0. I played one multiplayer world with some friends and did that playthrough, but start from scratch and rebuild the pagoda from scratch with all the new base pieces that they've added to the game that I didn't originally use. That'd be kind of fun. I also have some big build ideas for the outside of this as well, so we have a lot of potential to keep going on this anyways. We'll see. There's the fact that this city is meant for the looks and for survival, so it could not be good for a game experience. Yeah, I think that's why I've never done a playgrounds, is I don't know what I would build. I can build cool things in playgrounds, but I don't necessarily have a reason to like make a like a game out of it, like using all the playgrounds tools and stuff that you get. I just don't have a reason other than like, here's a map that people can use to make their own like RPGs is about the only way I could do it. Like, I just have fun building and designing cool things to show people what you can build, and then they get to take that and use it in their own worlds. My goal is to build things in survival and show people what you can build and how you push the limits of the building in the survival aspect. I don't necessarily love the custom building experience as much. Like I enjoy the survival aspect personally. So that's also tough for me. I just never know. If an idea comes to me for a Playgrounds world that makes tons of sense, I would totally do it. But I just haven't had that like desire to learn the tools and all the things they've added to it. Like that's not necessarily how I enjoy the game. I prefer the new Game Plus experience of building and continuing to play the game over and over again. That's where I have the most fun. There are some very interesting aspects to Playgrounds that I think are really cool, but I haven't found a way to implement them myself in a meaningful way. Not that this does anything. That's why games usually are built for more than one person, yeah. But people get to build, like, use these builds on their own worlds, and I get to build and have fun doing what I do. So it all works out. But, I mean, I could play with 4 people on this world at some point and make it interesting and fun, I'm sure. But I enjoy the solo building experience and just doing this. Just chill build vibes. Alright, well I think I'm at a stopping point here. I don't really know what else I want to work on at the moment. That's not just starting some new housing and stuff. I'm really surprised we got the entire jail done tonight. That was surprising. Sure, there's some more details on the inside, but I'm just trying to get basic shapes and functioning stuff down at the moment, and then we'll dive into more of the detail as we go. I think maybe next stream, I would like to make... I've wanted to finish the under part of this building for quite a while, so... And now that I kind of have the idea that I want to go for, I think we will head in that direction. It's just going to be sort of a circle hallway sort of space with a shelf and tons of bombs. So it'll be a funny thing to see as we go. Also, I can definitely delete some of this stuff, so that's nice to know. I will definitely do that. Yeah, we got some cleanup to do in this area, which I think will be very useful as well. We'll get some pieces back, all this stuff. But without further ado, I'm going to call it there. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Friday night. I should be back on Monday. I'm going to stream as much as I can next week, but I do need to pack and get ready for a trip because I'm leaving the next, not this weekend, but the next weekend for vacation for 10 days. So after next week, I'll take some time off for vacation, and then we'll come back. We're going to hit Enshrouded pretty hard, I think. That's the plan with the new update coming out on the 5th. So we'll come back. I'll be back on the 20th. Unfortunate timing to leave. I did want to play right when the update came out. So maybe we'll play a little next week and take a break from Grounded entirely. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure. I will let people know what my plan is on the Discord if you're not part of that. And then we'll take 10 days off, Monday through Friday, and then a Monday through Wednesday. Then I'll be back, and I think we will be ready to hit the ground running with more building and more videos, more streams, and everything. It'll be good. It's been a crazy couple weeks, but my life will be back to about normal when we're back from vacation because I have full-time childcare again. So that will make life exponentially easier. I appreciate everyone hanging out, though, and I'll catch